Nous allons maintenant écouter un message du directeur exécutif du programme des Nations Unies pour l'environnement, M. Achim Steiner.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the United Nations Environment Programme, let me extend my warm welcome on this, the occasion of the 5th meeting of the African Eurasian Migratory Waterbird Agreement. Our collaboration between UNEP and AEWA has both a long tradition and in recent years also taken a much greater substantive and also subject significance. The work that you will be doing during the coming days is obviously one that not only is of great interest to us in UNEP, but that also binds us together in the overall objectives of trying to bring the issues of species and biodiversity, loss of habitat and habitat degradation to the attention of the international community. I would like to also extend my warm thanks to the French authorities for hosting this 5th meeting and to also provide the delegates and also the Secretariat with all the support necessary to make this a very successful and productive meeting. Clearly, as it comes just a few weeks before the Rio+20 summit, it is important to make the link between the conservation of migratory waterbird species and the broader discussions about sustainable development, and in the context of UNEP's work on the green economy, the linkage between conservation and people. It is also a centerpiece of the theme for this meeting, and in that sense it will hopefully provide not only for AEWA itself but also for the discussions in Rio yet another example of how multilateral cooperation and multilateral instruments can be part of an environmental governance and cooperation framework for the global community to address issues such as migratory waterbirds. In many ways, they symbolize the objectives of multilateralism because the responsibility for both ensuring the survival and conservation of species but also for maintaining habitat is one that is, in the case of migratory waterbirds, more shared than perhaps for other issues. Our contribution to supporting AEWA and the work of member states extends from both a very close collaboration with the Secretariat on issues such as information and knowledge management to also developing new online reporting systems, of which AEWA is in fact the first one to use this new framework that we have been developing together with the UNEP World Conservation Monitoring Center. I hope also that the focus on Africa that you will be addressing during this AEWA meeting will be another example of how an international convention can be part of trying to bring international interests together in a framework of cooperation. Clearly, a great deal of progress has been made on the African continent in addressing the issues of biodiversity and habitat conservation. Particularly for migratory waterbirds, Africa is a central landing spot, but also a central place in which the linkage between the benefit of biodiversity conservation, species conservation, and human well-being cannot be more obvious. The notion that wetlands are not only a place where species survive and thrive, but also form an integral part of the ecosystem services that we look to nature to ensure that we as human beings can continue into the future to benefit from the extraordinary capacity of nature to sustain our societies and economies. In that sense, I hope that your meeting in La Rochelle will provide both a new impetus and a stronger focus on the need to act, particularly on the most threatened migratory waterbirds, but also to continue to build that narrative that will always link conservation of nature with human well-being. It is also the bridge to Rio+20. Thank you.